Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is March the 2nd, 2025. Hopefully, this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Still illin', still not feeling the greatest, but overall in a good mood, having a good day. We got up pretty early. I didn't do anything last night. It was a pretty cozy night in. I just wasn't feeling it. It was super cold outside. I was like, let's just not roll the dice tonight. Let's just not put our body through it. Let's just stay in. I even got in a nap, which was very nice. But we woke up early, went to the grocery store, and I got to say, it was one of the quicker grocery runs I've ever done. Being that I got in so early, and like I've been saying, I've been hitting at it. Like, we're changing things around here. The food corner is going to be different. The diet is going to be potentially implemented. So I'll keep you posted. That'll be the meal for tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, it was just super quick. I just got a couple things of chicken. I got a couple things of salad mix. And I mean, more or less, I was just like pretty much good to go. I was like, man, no bread, no, just, no, not even the ground beef. Like, it was it was weird, but it was quick. And also, another thing was too, because I've been sick, I just haven't used as much resources. Like I haven't drank as many energy drinks, things of that nature. So I still didn't have as much pickup. So that was nice. Gym is what we did after the grocery store. And I gotta say, overall, gym was fine. I had like a coughing fit, like right after I got done with the Stairmaster. And I don't know why, but that really discouraged me. Like, that was the worst part about it. Like, maybe the worst moment I had this week, gym wise. But, we move. Overall, it's okay. I'm just so sick of the snot. I'm so sick of the coughing. I just want to be over it. I'm done. But gym went well, and now we are home. We'll say I'm a bit sleepy, but hopefully I can get maybe a nap in and close out the rest of my day. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted for that. That's for tomorrow. Anyway, let's go ahead and do our startup and get into some news. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, big burps. I will say, though, the Milwaukee's Best is back on the menu. All right. Excuse me. From the Associated Press, Kurdish PKK militants declare a ceasefire and 40-year insurgency in Turkey. Kurdish militants who have waged a 40-year insurgency in Turkey declared a ceasefire on Saturday in what could mark a significant boost to President Recep Tayyip Erdogan's government, 2 days after their imprisoned leader called for the group to disarm. The announcement by the Kurdistan Workers' Party, or PKK, comes against the backdrop of fundamental changes in the region, including the reconfiguration of power in neighboring Syria after the toppling of President Bashar Assad, the weakening of Hezbollah militant movement in Lebanon, and the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. While the government is yet to respond in detail to the PKK's declaration, Erdogan warned that Turkey would always keep our iron fist ready in case the hand we extend is left in the air or bitten. Speaking at a Ramadan fast-breaking dinner in Istanbul, also, happy Ramadan to all my homies who celebrate, Erdogan added, "We will continue our ongoing military operations, if necessary, until we eliminate the last terrorist without leaving a single stone on top of another, without leaving a single head on his shoulder." Now, this is really tough talk from Erdogan, especially because it's like, even though he's not really claiming responsibility here, he has been, a part of the implementation of this deal. But let me keep reading through that. We'll eventually get there. The conflict between Turkey and the PKK has led to thousands of deaths since it began in 1984. The ceasefire is the first sign of a breakthrough since peace talks between the PKK and Ankara broke down in the summer of 2015. The PKK declaration was published by the Firat News Agency, a media outlet close to the group, on Saturday. It referred to the insurgents leader, Abdullah Öcalan, who has been imprisoned by Turkey since 1999. Now, he had made a declaration, that they just stated, and essentially he was just saying, "Hey, I'm calling for peace. Lay down your arms." And when I heard about that earlier in the week, I was like, "Damn, I know that's major. I know, like, and I need to add. Obviously, I'm very dumb in a lot of topics about this kind of thing, this region. I've said this before. I'll say it again, but I was very surprised that he had, made this declaration. I imagine, the circumstances that be, people, were making plays to tell him to do this, and, maybe something good would happen for him because he's been imprisoned, since 1999. I figured, okay, maybe this will be a big change. Maybe this will be a sea change, but isn't it very possible that, the people who have been boots on the ground in this insurgency, the PKK, like, isn't it very possible that most people are going to be like, okay, like, cool that you made the statement. Yes, we look up to you. Yes, like, you're a big leader for us, but, like, this shit's got to continue, right? Like, that made sense to me. So I was kind of like, I wonder what's going to come of this. So this declaration is a big deal. This ceasefire is potentially really, really big. We declare a ceasefire effective today to pave the way for the implementation of Leader Apo's call for peace and democratic society. None of our forces will take armed action unless attacked, it said, referring to Öcalan by his nickname, which is Leader Apo. On Thursday, a delegation of Kurdish politicians announced Öcalan's call for the PKK to lay down its arms and disband after visiting him on his island prison. Let's see here. I'm going to scroll ahead, though. There's more details, but I will leave that to the experts. Some believe that the main aim of reconciliation, Some believe that the main aim of the reconciliation effort is for Erdogan's government to garner Kurdish support for a new constitution that would allow him to remain in power beyond 2028, when his term ends. So, obviously, I'm all for peace. I'm all for, a cessation of war and conflict, But the idea that Erdogan has pushed this shit out, really, made this a thing, directly, indirectly, whatever, only because he wants to get people on side so that he can more or less just be a fucking dictator, without actually being a dictator, right? Like a boneless dictator, if you will, like a Putin situation or whatever, or maybe a potential future Trump if he, continues to, keep playing his cards right the way he wants to. I don't think that's good. I think it's obviously fucking bad, no fucking free kings, you feel me? But, it is what it is. I don't want to poo-poo on peace. At least I try not to, especially when I don't fucking know, the whole history of a fucking region, of a place, or things like that. So yeah, I'm going to try to call this good news. I want to be optimistic about this shit. I feel like a ceasefire is a good thing, but, I'll definitely keep you posted on, what I learn, what I see, in the future. But yeah, we'll go. Oh, there's an important part here because not everyone is fully on board. I'm kind of moving a little too fast. The leader of the U.S.-backed Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces has said Öcalan's call for a ceasefire does not apply to his group in Syria. The Turkish government, however, says all Kurdish groups it claims are tied to the PKK, whether in Turkey, Syria, or Iraq, must disband. So essentially they're saying, like, hey, this is a chance, an opportunity for you to all lay down your arms. And if you don't, then nothing's going to change here. That's why Erdogan at the up top had such a hard stance about this shit, saying, like, hey, we're not saying this is over. We're not saying, like, we're completely oblivious to this. Like, if things are still going to keep happening, then we're going to respond in kind. So very mumuch so we're not out of the woods in the situation in Turkey, in Syria, in Iraq. There's a lot of hands in the pot. There's a lot of things going on, as there has been for a very, very long time, of course. So yeah, I just want to start off with that because it was pretty big news. Let's move on though to Israel and Gaza. From BBC, Israel blocks entry of all humanitarian aid into Gaza. Israel has blocked the entry of all humanitarian aid into Gaza as it demands Hamas agree to a U.S. plan for a ceasefire extension. The first phase of a truce deal mediated by Egypt, Qatar, and the U.S. expired on Saturday. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office said Hamas was refusing to accept a temporary extension proposal by Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff. A Hamas spokesman said blocking supplies to Gaza was cheap blackmail and a coup on the ceasefire agreement and urged mediators to intervene. The ceasefire deal halted 15 months of fighting between Hamas and the Israeli military, allowing the release of 33 Israeli hostages for about 1,900 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. The eternally mediated ceasefire plan, originally proposed by Joe Biden, envisages. We're gonna say envisages 3 stages. The first phase came into force on January 19th and expired on Saturday. Negotiations on phase 2, meant to lead to a permanent ceasefire, the release of all remaining living hostages, and the withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza, were due to have started weeks ago, but have barely begun. Phase 3 is meant to result in the return of all remaining bodies of dead hostages and the reconstruction of Gaza, which is expected to take years. Hamas has previously said it will not agree to any extension of phase 1 without guarantees from the mediators that phase 2 would inevitably take place, which makes sense because essentially this feels like Israel is trying to say, hey, we don't want to move to the next phase because that's getting closer and closer to the conversations that we really don't want to have. We really don't want to have to put a period on. Essentially saying, hey, we're giving up control. We're leaving Gaza. We are going to say, hey, yeah, we didn't get rid of Hamas, but now there's like a new Palestinian authority or power in charge and everything's going to be fine. And phase 3 is more or less, to my knowledge, right, if I'm keeping up with this, that there is going to be a Palestinian state, a 2-state solution, if you will. Those last 2 parts are not things that Israel wants. They refuse. They will not capitulate to these things. They have been very onerous about it. They would rather go back to war and get back to more or less an ethnic cleansing, more or less a fucking genocide, than do that. So essentially they're saying, here's where we can meet in the middle. Why don't we just continue phase 1? It's just a long ceasefire. It's just a longer ceasefire and everyone gets what they want. But once again, Hamas is very well aware of that. And they're like, no, that's not. We need to continue this along. We have a grand plan here. Let's see it all the way fucking through. And it's just like, you guys aren't being cool about this. You guys are being so unfair and so unruly about this. And that's how it's being portrayed in the media, more or less. So, I mean, I really hope that we can continue this. This sense of peace at least, though. I mean, even so, I mean, people are still dying. There still are, strikes that are taking place. Let's see if I can find it from this article. Also on Sunday, medics said 4 people have been killed in Israeli strikes on Gaza. The Israeli military said it attacked people who are planting an explosive device in the north of the territory. There are believed to be 24 hostages alive, with another 39 presumed to be dead. So, I mean, it's so sad because something like this, you would think, like with everything, with everything that we know, you could just wrap this up in a couple of conversations and then just exchange all these prisoners and just be done with it and then move along. But once again, because Israel does not want to capitulate on these fucking topics or these issues for them, they're like, no, these are non-starters. We never want them. We would literally rather them get pushed out of here and then go to wherever the fuck, just out of here so we can have our new Judea, all our fucking bullshit, blah, 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 between Gaza and the West Bank. That would be easier for us. That's more acceptable to us. And we would rather go back to war and lose people and kill way more people just to do that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that is sadly long-standing thing. But yeah, let's go ahead and move along. I've been on this for a little bit. Actually, we'll go ahead and take a water break. And the next story is going to be from the Associated Press. Ugh. At least 4 construction workers are killed in an avalanche in northern India. At least 4 workers have died after an avalanche swept away a large construction crew working on a highway near India's mountainous border with Tibet. Indian Army said Saturday. The incident took place near the Mana Pass in northern Uttarakhand state on Friday, and 55 construction workers were initially trapped under the snow. Rescuers pulled out 50 workers, of whom 4 later died, the Indian Army said in a statement. It said the search for the 5 remaining missing workers was continuing, with multiple teams of rescuers and military helicopters scanning the incident site. The statement did not specify the number of injured, but said they were being prioritized for evacuation. Many of the trapped workers were migrant laborers who were working on a highway widening and blacktopping project along the 50-kilometer or 31-mile stretch from Mana, the last village on the Indian side, to the Mana Pass bordering Tibet. Then they go through some older history things that I did not cover, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and just recap them. In 2022, 27 trainee mountaineers were killed in an avalanche in the northern Uttarakhand region. A year earlier, a glacier burst in the state resulted in a flash flood that left more than 200 people dead. Very unfortunate, but hopefully the remaining people who are trapped can be, rescued, and we won't be covering more casualties, if and when I come back to this. But good that they were able to, move and do what they could for the people who were, trapped in this very harrowing situation. But yeah, let's move on to our last story for the day. I'd say it's a bit lighter, a bit less. Oh, also, this is a bit of a Trump thing, but Trump pardoned Pete Rose, which is that's some local shit. But I mean, essentially, and not to mention, he didn't really need the pardon, but I guess it's something that maybe might open up. Yeah, I don't even know if it's going to actually open him up to the potential Hall of Fame chance. But I think it's just one of those things where it kind of scrubs his name a little bit there. So I don't know. I wasn't really planning on covering that, but I saw that on the AP ticker, and I was like, oh, I'll mention it. Why not? But essentially, he gave him like a pardon for like the gambling shit. I was like, oh, okay, all right, that's cute, that's nice. He doesn't really need it. It's obviously post Thomas as well. But I don't know. Maybe something comes out of that. Who knows? Maybe that feels like Cincinnati Cope though, and I'm probably just being a dumbass there. I don't really know the full details. I didn't dig in too much on that there. But anyway, let me go ahead and close out and last break, and we'll go to Colombia. Colombian last break would hit different. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, from the Associated Press, Colombian police catch a man smuggling packets of cocaine under toupee. Colombian police apprehended a 40-year-old man attempting to smuggle several bags of cocaine concealed beneath a meticulously attached toupee. I really wish I could have seen pictures of this guy with a toupee of cocaine, the cocaine toupee, if you will, on. I believe they call it a narco wig, which sounds like more menacing and more, but it's a cocaine toupee. Like, come on, man. Like, anyway, police said the suspect was detained at Cartagena's airport on Monday and as he prepared to board a flight to Amsterdam, a scanner revealed the hidden cargo. 220 grams of cocaine packaged in small bags, strategically placed under what authorities described as a narco wig. Police estimate the street value of the drugs at approximately 10,000 euros in European markets. So to me, AKA, that's not that much fucking money, bro. Like, I mean, it might be enough to, old Joe Blow or whatever, but real shit, that's not that much money. That's not that much payload. So, I mean, cool get, I guess. But it's more or less this is making the rounds. It's more of a highlight because someone was rocking a wig filled to the brim with cocaine. And not to mention, the video is like them cutting it off dude's head, and it just seems so embarrassing. It just seems so demoralizing. Like, one, you're wearing this fucking toupee, I guess it's glued on, and they have to cut it off. Like, oh man. And you're about to go to fucking jail. That sucks. That shit fucking sucks. That's got to be one of the worst Locked Up Abroad episodes, if that's you, right? So that's a bummer. That's no good. But I figured, hey, let's just talk cocaine a little bit. Let's talk bad wigs a little bit and close it out there for our Sunday. So yeah, y'all know I don't like to shill on the day of rest, if you will, so we won't do that. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.